Tonight, the promise of treating mental health issues with mind-altering mushrooms is running into the reality of Arizona's budget deficit.
12 News journalist Bram Resnick reports that funding to test mushrooms on patients like veterans and first responders is running dry as plans to legalize the treatment in Arizona have stalled.
Hopes were high back in February at a Capitol News conference.
It's just so beautiful to see my dad be able to find peace again.
Alyssa Steele and her dad Robert joined military veterans, first responders, and state lawmakers, promoting the safe use of psychedelic mushrooms.
This will have been vetted before it ever even reaches the governor's desk.
3 months later, a bill that would legalize clinical trials of therapeutic mushrooms might never reach Governor Katie Hobbs' desk. And funding for Dr. Sue Sisley, who would lead patients through the trials, will dry up.
With the state being in almost $2 billion deficit, it's very likely that all that money will get clawed back.
The State Department of Health Services awarded Sisley a $2.75 million grant for what she says would be the first human studies with natural hallucinogenic mushrooms.
I'm a scientist. I'm inherently skeptical about anything like this, so I want to see the data.
Many veterans, first responders, and others have already found relief from PTSD and other mental health issues in so-called magic mushrooms, known in nature as psilocybin.
What do you do when you leave the service and you're working to a path of healing?
Ray Brooks served in the Marines for 3 decades. Mushrooms, he says, aren't like any medication.
It's not a party, it's not a game, and it's a lot of work. It's taxing physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and you have to be prepared when you go into that space.
Sue Sisley is still preparing to get clinical trials off the ground. She hasn't seen a dime of the state money. Attorney General Chris May's legal settlements and opioid lawsuits are a potential funding source.
We're looking for philanthropists who care about this work.
A spokeswoman for the Arizona Department of Health Services pointed out that the grant terms say funding expires June 30th, and there's no guarantee it would be renewed. A spokesman for Governor Hobbs said her office couldn't comment on whether the mushroom grant would be funded in the new state budget. In Phoenix, Bram Resnick, 12 News.
All right, Bram.